The history of information technology is our history, invented and constantly reinvented by geniuses. Heraclitus once said that no man ever steps in the same river twice. To begin with, we will follow two tributaries with very different courses, mathematics and logic. Nobody really knows where mathematics comes from. The Egyptians already made a pretty accurate calculation of the circumference of the Earth, based on shadows and angle calculation. And Plato considers mathematics the archetype of perfect ideas. He has the following sentence engraved on the pediment of his academy: "Let no one ignorant of geometry enter." Logic, for its part, appears with Aristotle, who lays its foundations through formalizing the syllogism. Al-Khwarizmi makes Arabic algebra known to the Western world and revolutionizes mathematics with the number 0. René Descartes rides the wave of new mathematics and reconciles it with Platonic geometry. He also invents the X and Y axis system with coordinates that will bear his name. Almost simultaneously, Blaise Pascal does away with Aristotle's idea of final cause, which leaves nothing to chance. He computes the probability of an effect based on a given cause. After that, Bayes computes the probability of a cause based on a given effect, which is the basis for most current recommendation algorithms. At the intersection, Leibniz dreams of fully mathematizing logic. He cannot quite manage it, but others will keep on trying to achieve his vision. From now on, disciplines will interweave, and it will become next to impossible to tell them apart. Galileo restores the dignity of technique and instruments. He uses a telescope and discovers the satellites of Jupiter and the phases of Venus. Euler tries to cross the 7 Königsberg bridges in one single stroll, without crossing the same bridge twice. He cannot do it, but lays the foundations for topology and, unwittingly, the science of computer networks. A co-citizen of Euler in Königsberg, Immanuel Kant, estimates that we, human beings, see the world and things not as they are, but as we are. He thus creates the conditions for the emergence of psychology alongside philosophy through two major currents, behaviorism and cognitivism. Georges Boole, who invents the binary system 100 years before the introduction of computers, is the last thinker true to the logic of predicates, introduced by Aristotle and challenged by Russell, who proposes a logic of relationships instead. This man is Gödel, who shatters forever Leibniz's dream through demonstrating that logic cannot be fully mathematized. Thus, propositions can be true, and yet it can be impossible to prove that they are true. Here is Wittgenstein, a disciple and yet an opponent of Russell. He thinks that logic will never solve language problems, and invents truth tables to define logical operators. By focusing on control and steering issues, Wiener originates the theory of feedback, which he calls cybernetics. 100 years after Boole, Alan Turing uses his binary system to build his famous virtual machine, the first programmable tool in history. Last, Shannon, who would have turned 100 years old in 2016, theorizes communication through demonstrating the link between probability and amount of information. He combines Boole's algebra with electronic relays to optimize digital compression, and is therefore the ancestor of formats such as JPEG or MP3. Without him and his glorious predecessors, this short clip would not have been possible.